Lindelof's artwork stands out from the pack. Now, the original Green Lantern, let's move on to Green Lantern, was introduced on the cover of All-Star Comics number 16, which is July 1940. And he's drawn by Sheldon Moldoff. Moldoff depicts him as wearing a green and red costume with a flowing cape. And he's charging on the cover at a Tommy gun wielding thug. Now, in the origin of the original Green Lantern, blonde engineer Alan Scott comes to own a mysterious Green Lantern made of a strange off-world metal. He makes a ring from this metal, puts it on, and then touches the lantern with it. Alan Scott is then instantly transformed into a superhero that can fly, walk through walls, and is immune to bombs and bullets. But the Green Lantern itself, the lantern, acts as a kind of superhero dynamo, giving Alan Scott jolts of superpower. And the Green Lantern character must recharge himself from this mystical lantern / superhero dynamo every 24 hours. The Green Lantern is very, very powerful, but he's vulnerable to one thing: wood. So a conk on the head from a chair or a 2x4, and the Green Lantern is out cold. Now, the Green Lantern was a joint invention of artist Martin Nodell and writer Bill Finger. Finger was the uncredited co-creator of Batman as well. Editor Sheldon Mayer also had a hand in reshaping Nodell's original ideas. Mayer viewed the Green Lantern as an updating of the Arabian Nights Aladdin legend, with the additional element of superpowers. Mayer did not actually want to publish the Green Lantern character at all. When Martin Nodell showed up with his initial sketches, the editor was not impressed with the original drawings or the idea. So he brings in Bill Finger, who quickly hammers out a storyline that helps support Nodell's art style. The concept of a costumed superhero and a magic lamp. A conventional comic book idea blended with Arabian Nights / Aladdin fantasy elements. The origin of the Green Lantern in the first Green Lantern, original Green Lantern comic book, is actually narrated by the lamp itself. A meteor falls in ancient China. This meteor is then fashioned into a magical lamp. The lamp is infused with strange powers. And the Green Lantern, the lantern itself, is the title character and hero of the origin story. The lamp instructs the young Alan Scott that its light must be shed over dark and evil things. But Alan Scott comes up with the idea of his bizarre costume all by himself. He wants to never be forgotten by those who see him. The Green Lantern was synthesized from many different elements. His pants are as green as his name. His shirt and boots have red and yellow details. His mask is black. His hair is blonde. And his huge wrap-around cloak is purple. His outfit looks like it was thrown together in the dark. And the character seems to have been created in a similar manner. But somehow, everything works wonderfully, and the Green Lantern is one of the great Golden Age DC characters. The Green Lantern soon becomes one of the most popular of the DC superheroes, and not only has his own comic book, but also appears frequently in All-Star Comics and All-American Comics as well. The original writer, Bill Finger, constructs, concentrates on stories of urban crime, civic corruption, and racketeering. And he soon teams with artist Irwin Hasson, who begins ghosting the comic book from issue number 26 in May 1941. The Finger Hasson team soon introduced slapstick sidekick Doiby Dickles. Dickles is a tough, overweight cab driver who becomes the Green Lantern's Robin equivalent. The comical cab driver showcases artist Hasson's, I'm having trouble pronouncing this guy's name, deceptively simple cartoonist approach. And Hasson quickly becomes the definitive Golden Age interpreter of the Green Lantern. The artist was a crackerjack comic book artist, specializing in costumed heroes, and also drew the Green Hornet and Catman before he starts ghosting the Green Lantern. He also drew very imaginative covers for All American Comics from issue number 32 through issues number 54. Now, Hasson would soon depart from the comic book industry when he gets his own newspaper comic strip named Dondi. Dondi would become very, very popular in the newspaper funnies. Dondi was wholesome, heartwarming strip that would run for decades. In the mid-1940s, new writers and sci-fi specialists from the pulps, Alfred Bester, Henry Knutter, and Julius Schwartz, would combine mystery, fantasy, and comedy in the Green Lantern comic book. The great villain, Solomon Grundy, would enter the picture. Grundy combines the best qualities of the Frankenstein monster and the villain known as the Heap. And he would rise up periodically to plague the Green Lantern. Now, after World War II, Alex Toth was doing much of the artwork for Green Lantern. And several more colorful villains turn up in the comic book. For example, Harlequin, the Mystery Woman, who turns to crime in order to draw attention to herself. She has the hots for the Green Lantern and wants the superhero to notice her. The cabbie, Dolby, is then replaced by a Green Lantern Wonder Dog. And the Green Lantern departs from All American Comics when the magazine switches to Western Stories in 1948. The original Green Lantern, the Golden Age Green Lantern, takes his final Golden Age bow in All-Star Comics number 57 in early 1951. All right, let's move on.